you at 5 a.m. Would you get on your knees or get up and leave? If he answered your prayer.
This is a story from the top. This is a story I give everybody because they're always like, how did you know this? Like, how did you know? Right? Basically, February 13th-ish, I'm helping my parents move out, and that like night or that weekend, the next couple of days, like just really fatigued. I mean, I'm talking like chills, talking like the worst night sweats I've ever had, like vomiting, like all of it, fatigue. You know, can't really walk too well, and I'm just assuming it's because of helping them move, because they were moving in the middle of the snow, and then like I dropped like a bookshelf on my head once, so I assume like maybe it's like a concussion or something. You know, I just assumed that was what it was. That happens for a couple days, and it goes away, and then it comes back like 2 weeks later, and like I'm going to have chills again, vomit again, that kind of thing. And so I go to that like just the free clinics. I don't have health insurance. That's kind of scary. That's a different story. But I had no health insurance, so I went to the free clinic. And they were like, I talked to the doctor, and the doctor was like, you know, it could be like some like results of long COVID, or it could be like anxiety. And I was like, I really don't think it's anxiety. He literally told me that. But the one that we agreed on and made the most sense was like a walking pneumonia, which is like a long form of pneumonia. I mean, it made sense, right? The chills and the shakes and everything like that. He says go to Costco and get some kind of Allerclear or whatever, because he thinks that like that will help clear me up. I don't know. And I was like, okay, sounds good. I'm not a doctor.
Clear it up real quick.
I'm not a doctor, so I just said okay. I feel a symptom again, like, you know, I can kind of feel them creeping up. It's round 4 by this point. And then I, you know, the next day I'm going to school, and I take the train to school, the tracks. And as I'm walking there, it's like my feet are like dragging like that. Like I can barely walk, like just so exasperated. Can barely catch a breath. Heart is pounding like crazy. Just to walk, like super normal stuff, right? Stuff I did every single day before I went back to the clinic. And the miracle of it is I had a different doctor. Because I feel like what could have easily happened is I went in there and it's the same doctor, and he said, okay, try this medicine, or try another round of Z-Paks, which is some of the medicine he gave me. And I would have just died, because I would have just gone home and be like, okay, you know what I mean? But this doctor was like, this was like a younger doctor, like a nurse, and he was like, I think you have a heart murmur. And that kind of makes sense because of the fatigue and the heart racing and stuff like that. So he said, I think you should go to the ER, and because they can like x-ray it and have stuff that we don't have at the free clinic. And so I went to the ER, and like literally walked into the ER, and like immediately they had like a wheelchair for me, because I was like, I cannot stand up. Like it was bad enough where like 30 feet completely took it out of me. Like I will pass out, you know, walking that much. And so then they did all sorts of tests in my brain and in my heart. They tested it all, and it looks like your white blood cell count is much higher than your red blood cell count. Meaning like I just didn't have enough going through my body, which makes sense. That's why my heart was pounding so hard all the time. Like I would just be laying in bed, like before I went to the doctors, I would just be laying in bed, trying to go to sleep, and my heart's just pounding like that. But my mom, her dad had leukemia when he died, and so she knew the whole thing about a higher white blood cell count usually means leukemia. So she was freaking out, and then my aunt was like, no, it's not leukemia, don't worry about it. And then the doctor comes in, he's like, I hate to break it to you, but you do have leukemia. And I was like, oh, okay. You know, he's like, you have like blood cancer. And I was like, what? You know, in the movies, you always see like the cancer diagnosis, and they're like crying and stuff. And to me, I was just like, what? Like, I would have never guessed that that's what it was. You know, and they're like, we're gonna start you on chemotherapy immediately, and you know, hopefully within 6 weeks you'll be done. I was like, 6 weeks? Because I was expecting to go back to school on Thursday. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I have all my finals and stuff. You know what I'm trying to say? Then when they said 6 weeks, I was like, that gets me out before Kulani's wedding, right? I was like, because I have to make it. Something I just realized actually is, when you go outside and there should be masks hanging up, I realized that I'm supposed to have you guys all be wearing a mask. I hate to do that to you guys right now.
That's all, you're good. Dang, it's been a minute since we wore one of these bad boys.
Anyways, I was shocked, but I was like, you know, at that point, you're just like, hey, let's get her done. You know, like, what else are you gonna do besides let's just fight this and get it over with? This sounds so stupid, but they're like, we're gonna give you a prick on 3. And I'm always just like, don't count to 3, just do it. You know, 'cause I don't want, you know, like, that's how I've been this whole time, where they're like, we have to do this or we have to do that. I'm like, let's just do it. You know, I'm not really concerned with it. So that night, you guys had, as far as I have heard, like a mission prayer. And dude, I'm telling you, bro, that saved my life, because the next morning, they're like, we're gonna have to keep an eye on you with the breathing tube in for like another 7 days. And I'm like, and it's like, not only is it physically painful to have it in, but just the mental game of having it in. You know what I mean? It's just, and I was like, 7 days, I just have no idea how I'm gonna be able to do that. But then they come in a little bit later, and the doctor's like, actually, we're gonna take it out right now. And so I only had it in for like 38 hours or something. So yeah, that's I don't think there's anything else that's part of the main storyline that I tell everybody, but that's kind of like the lore. But